Alright guys, this is another FSD 13.2.8 video. I've just got a little bit of running around to do today. See what happens. First thing we're going to have to do is go in reverse. Okay. I mean, nothing's changed, but I would go back further. Okay. It's very close, but good job. So today won't be a lot of driving just because what I'm doing is two kind of shorter commutes, but I will do the kilometer tracking anyways. So we're at 36,694 and we will see how far we get before we have to do any sort of intervening, disengaging, whatnot. Okay, I would go right now. Really good job creeping up, taking that spot for the right turn, and then we had vehicles coming, so we waited, so that was perfect. And it might be minor, like you guys might not even notice it, but okay, so right here, I just want to make sure we stay over to the right, the same way these guys are. Okay. Oh, I see. We're going straight. I thought we were turning right. Okay, so something that you guys may or may not notice, I changed the camera angle ever so slightly, like I moved it up so it's now closer to like head height. That should just be more of like a view out and down the car versus it's a difference of like 2 inches, so you may not notice it, but if you do, I sort of changed it up. Let me know what you think. And then an update on the HDMI input, which, sorry, by the way, we're in a school zone. It sees it, but we're not adhering to it, so I will scroll that back. So Tom, I mentioned earlier, was incredibly generous and has purchased a replacement screen for the car and is working on doing the HDMI output. I think and if we email back and forth a bit about it, but he's just saying it's quite hard to get it apart and get it started. So he's in the early processes of that, and sounds like once he does get it open and working, it will happen pretty quickly. But I think it's very cool that he's even offered to do this in the first place. So thank you again to Tom. So hopefully within a few weeks or so we get that, and that'll really, I think, improve the quality of the channel for you guys watching. This screen will just be so much more clear for you to watch. So that will be very, very, very cool if that happens. So we're out of the school zone, but the car thinks we're still in a 30 zone, which is unfortunate because now we're going 41. Even though I've scrolled this up to go 55, the car won't speed up enough. Okay, so left-hand turn on a pretty busy road here. I would obviously come to a stop and then creep, and then I would just go right now. So you have a vehicle coming, and it's fine. It's hard to tell, and maybe I'll show a little bit more on that camera angle. That was fine. It was safe. We made it. A human just would have gone a little bit quicker on that left-hand turn, and it wouldn't have felt as weird, whereas we just kind of lackadaisically turned left. And that's what I talk about all the time, and that's why when you see me disengage the car was turning right a few videos back, and it was going to pull out in front of somebody, and I disengaged, and then there's people in the comments saying no, the car can go fast enough, you're whatever. Completely disagreeing with my decision making. My decision making comes from a lot of experience with how this car drives, and knowing that that slow maneuvering is usually how it handles turns. So when this car decides to pull out in front of fast moving traffic, it almost rarely, if ever, will give a strong acceleration to get itself out of an issue. So not that I want to go flying around every single corner when the car does take corners, but it's if it's going to make a decision to put itself in front of another vehicle that's moving towards it, it should give a little bit more speed to get out of that situation as quickly as possible. If there's no cars coming, turn left, turn right, make it smooth, go slow. But if there's a vehicle coming and the car is going to make that gap, go quick. I hope I explained that well. Okay, roundabout here, I would wait, and I would go maybe after this Kia? No. I'd go now. Perfect. It's pretty crazy that I think it was like back in December that we're still on 13.2.8 with no even hint from Tesla AI about an update. Like, it's crazy that we've gone this long without anything from them. I feel like that's the longest, for as long as I've been like a part of the FSD community, which is coming up on a year now. For as long as I've been like involved, this feels like the biggest hiatus or break in time from a major version change, and also just from there being like nothing, like no minor updates, no small updates. Like, Tesla's just not saying and not releasing or not doing anything. And I know a lot of that is because they're clearly focusing on FSD, like robotaxi in Austin. I'm just surprised that as a byproduct of that, there hasn't been a new version that's come out, because whatever they're doing in Austin is still an improvement to FSD, like the backbones of it. So I'm surprised that throughout all that hard work that they haven't released a 13.3 or anything else yet. But not really complaining, more just like noting it. I mean, 13.2.8 is incredible. It has its problems, but it is very, 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 very good. It's just, I don't know, it's fun to see and experience the new versions of FSD. And at this point, I'm so used to 13.2.8. Not that that's a bad thing, but there just is, it's fun to have something to look forward to. So I'm hoping we hear something soon. I mentioned it in one of my drives with Jay, which I haven't edited yet because the timing of it's all going to go out of sync. Like, this video will probably come out first, but along with my achalasia, which I mentioned on the video a few episodes ago, I have it's called essential tremor or familial tremor. I got it. It's like inherited genetically. The reason I'm mentioning it, since I just seem to be very open about all my medical conditions on this channel, is it's degenerative, so it'll just only get worse and worse for me. And so things that you'll never pick up on the channel, or maybe you do, is like I am quite like shaky at times with my hands. Like, if you see my hands, they'll shake, and that varies. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. But I'm learning a part of that as well. I feel like we're going quite slow, by the way. We have a bunch of vehicles behind us. I'm going to press the accelerator. Another part of that that's becoming apparent, and I don't know how like long it will take to become more of an issue, is I'm pressing the gas again. We have 8 vehicles behind us. We're going very, very slow through here. Is my voice will start to get impacted. It's like your throat, whatever muscles we shouldn't go, get shaky. So I talk a lot on video, and there's definitely times where I notice that it's like more straining than usual. So I don't know. I hope to be able to do this forever. Not that tomorrow I won't be able to do this. It's just interesting for me to talk about, because it is one of those things that I have no idea how fast it will progress, but it could at some point in the future affect my ability to do this, and a lot of things, unfortunately. With that out of the way, we are here, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds when I'm done. By the way, this is, I'll show just because I'm quickly stopping here. This is what it looks like when you have an actual address with a driveway. This is incredible. This is straight to the door. This is perfect. So, okay, bye. All right, so I'm all done there. Heading to my next job. We'll see what happens. I'm parked like off the road. Sometimes FSD nails this. Sometimes it struggles. We could definitely just go left, and we'd be so fine. Okay, I'm going to press the accelerator. And I'm letting go now. So, talked about it before. FSD just struggles on dirt paths to start the drive. Not a huge deal. So I got invited to talk on a podcast by one of the people that follow the channel. They have their own Tesla channel. They reached out to me and asked me if I was interested. I was very reluctant. I said yes. Sorry, we have somebody on the side of the road here. I would give them a little bit of space. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted the car to do. Like, they had a shoulder, so they were off the road, but it is just more comfortable if the car acknowledges your existence. Like, same thing with this runner here. I hope, especially because they're kind of going on the road, like you can see, we see them, and you can kind of see the route planner is actually going a little bit off. So yeah, both those were good. I was very hesitant when I replied to them about wanting to do it, because this whole world of like talking in front of a camera and being on camera and sharing my opinion is quite new to me. Like, I've done videography and photography for a long time, but I've always been the person on the other side of the camera. I've worked with a ton of influencers. I've done things with like brands and famous people, but I'm never ever the one talking on camera. So it's always been this has been quite strange to me. Sorry, we should go. There's a bush here, so like I would creep and then just go. Perfect. Yes, I mean, there's a bit of, what's it called? Imposter syndrome, where, I mean, literally every single time I make these videos and thousands of you come in and watch, and I see the views and I see the comments, which I suck and I should say it more often. If you enjoy these videos, please comment, like, and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And then for those of you that comment, I really enjoy it. I love talking to all of you guys, even if it's just a, hey, I love the video. It's just neat to talk and interact with you guys. But yeah, it's been great seeing how popular this channel has been getting. But every single time I upload a video and see that I have all of you watching, it is crazy to me that there's this many of you that are tuning in to listen to me. And I can't really thank you enough for that, but it is still just weird to me. So I did accept it, and I should be on the podcast soon. I don't know when it'll be out. I don't really have any details. I know in about a week we're going to record it, but then I don't know when it goes out. So as soon as I know more, I will share it with you guys. So today's Monday. We drove downtown, Jay and I, yesterday for to watch White Lotus with our friends. We go downtown every Sunday. And I think just because I've done that drive twice and I haven't yet uploaded any of those drives, we didn't record the drive. Like, I just didn't put cameras in the car. We just hung out. But the car drove us to Vancouver, I think intervention free. Like, I don't remember doing anything. And it's crazy to me how normal that is now. That a car can drive me for like an hour, and it'll drive me from my house onto the highway, into a different city, navigate that busy city, all with like minimal human input. That's that 1 kilometer thing that's still happening. That does happen on miles as well. So I'm not switching to miles. Yeah, so like there is no video from yesterday, but it is just mind-blowing how good it is. I don't know, that's very cool. Again, like I mentioned it in a video the other day with Jay, but I think I definitely get numb to the fact of how kind of like, I don't want to overstate it, but like how mind-numbingly good it is what FSD is doing. I kind of forget that because I use it every single day. So to me, it just is kind of, it is what it is. And probably to those of you that watch these videos a bunch, it just feels like status quo. It's like, yeah, of course the car's driving itself. And you then pick apart its faults and people will be like, oh, FSD sucks because like the speed control isn't good, or it makes these mistakes or those mistakes. It is just insane that there is not one other vehicle in North America that is doing anything close to what FSD does. We should go. There was somebody the other day actually that replied to one of my videos and they said comma AI is better and does 99% of their driving, and they don't see the reason to spend more money on FSD when comma AI can do what FSD does. So I genuinely didn't know much about comma AI. I knew roughly sort of what it was, that it's like you just can put it on yourself. It looks sort of like this camera. It's like 2 or 3 cameras facing forward that you like mount right here, and then it plugs into the car's like ODB, whatever, connector, something. The idea being though that you can plug it into most new vehicles, like Rivian will do it, new Toyotas. It's very cool. I'm not discrediting what comma is. So I spent some time researching because this person had their opinion on it. I didn't really know much about it. At the end of the day, comma is 2 forward-facing eyes, or 3 forward. How many facing? Like, it is a camera looking forward. So any lane change that the car does is initiated by you because it has no idea what's happening beside it and behind it, and anything coming behind the car, it has no idea either. So, I mean, all that is very good cruise control. And it's funny to me that people, like that person in their heart of heart believes that comma AI is equivalent to what FSD is doing. And that honestly just inspires me to make more of these videos, because if people think that what comma is doing and what FSD is doing are even in the same world, I don't know. Like, that's not to say comma's thing isn't good, it just isn't FSD, and FSD is so much more capable. And so, yeah, I mean, people love the fact that Tesla doesn't advertise, but I am of the mindset that I think that they should. Like, I think a well-done commercial on television roughly explaining what FSD is or showcasing it in some useful way would do so much to kind of educate people. Like, I mean, the only people, everybody in my life that knows about FSD knows about it because of me. And if they didn't know me, they would not know what FSD is. So that just shows you, like I have friends who own Teslas, and I'm like, do you use full self-driving? And they don't even really know what that is. So I don't know. Maybe for now that's okay because the car's still not quite perfect. Like, it's very good, but I think Tesla does need to put a little bit of effort into like showcasing what this can do. What do you guys think? Or is that wrong? Am I wrong? Just say that. I think I drive in the rain sometimes, but this, for those of you who don't know, shows you that the car is plenty capable of driving in inclement weather. Like, I'll even pop up the cameras. They're not that like occluded by water, but I mean, it's definitely pouring rain, and FSD has no problem. Okay, so we have our own lane. I can see because of that sign. We should go, and then I can see also that our lane is going to end, so we should begin to move over and not hit this. Okay. Good job. Kind of bad lane management there. I was getting into the right lane when it knew that I had to turn left right here, which isn't ideal. Kind of a last minute change, but my job is something that requires decent weather. Because the weather is so shitty, I'm just gonna navigate to home, so I just switched it to home. We'll see how it does rerouting. I don't honestly know what it should do here, so I'm curious. I think it's gonna have to... Oh wow. I've never driven this road before that it's about to take, so... I think it's closed, no? Okay, this is good. the road it's trying to take doesn't exist. I'm really, really, really curious what FSD is going to do here. So it needs to see that this road doesn't exist, turn around and reroute itself. So nice job. Oh, this sucks. We're in standard, so it's not going to be able to. I'm going to put it. No. I'm just trying to get it out of standard. There we go. Okay, so it's out of standard, so now it can do any of the reverse thing it needs to do. So now I think it's hopefully going to see this wall and do the maneuvering that it was considering before. I'll give it a little bit here because it was definitely trying to, there we go. It was trying to do this right at the beginning when we got here. Because it was in that standard profile, it's unable to reverse. So I just turned on and off FSD a couple times. I don't know exactly how it all works, but doing that seems to click it out of that standard profile. So really good job. We're turning around here now. And yeah, really good job. Perfect. So that was a road closure handled entirely by FSD, with the massive caveat being that it got stuck because of the profile issue. I'm certain that could be fixed and probably will be in 13.3, but that does show you, that's really cool. That's FSD had a route in mind. It tried, it saw that it was closed, and it's like, hey, I got to reverse, I got to get out of here, and I'm going to go this way instead. So really, really well done. Nice job here, and then we got a green light, so we shout turning yellow. No worries. So full stop and then go, nice job. And I wonder now, like, if you look, like, that road shows as being broken now. And I wonder if I were to try and route, if it would still do that, because I don't know if that was showing before. That is too bad. We got an ambulance here. Obviously sad about the need for it, but it would have been great to have an interaction with that as well. For all the driving I do, I've yet to be behind an ambulance, or sorry, in front of an ambulance and need to pull over for it on FSD. Like, I've yet to see FSD and how it handles that, which is too bad. Because I've definitely seen videos where it does it properly. All right, so nice job here. The rest of this drive, in some ways, I almost just want to cut it because it's the drive home and I do it quite often, but I'll include it just to have data and kilometers. I think I ask it on most videos, but if there's anything in particular that any of you are wondering or would like to see the car try to do, any like routes specifically around the Lower Mainland, definitely let me know, and I'll make a point of trying to get out and drive those areas to see how the car does, because there's no doubt that because I live in this area, I drive this area lots. So for those of you that watch the channel, it may seem a little like repetitive or redundant, some of the stuff I do, but with that said, there always is something interesting that is happening with the car. So that's why I kind of always record my drives, like even that closed road, seeing what the car did, that was really cool. I think I'd mentioned it, maybe I didn't, on a previous episode or whatever video. I'm driving to Calgary this summer, and I'm really hoping for a new version of FSD to be out by then, which is July, because it would just be very cool to document as much of that drive and make it like kind of maybe a series or a, I have no idea how it'll play out as far as content goes, but it would just be really neat to road trip with this and over such an extended period of time really do the numbers on how much the car is driving versus how much I have to drive. So if by July they have destination parking because I mean, I'm going to have to stop at superchargers, and I'm not sure what we're going to do along the way, but if the car can, on its own, drive and pull up to a supercharger, really late brake there, and then it looked like we almost wanted to slide out of the lane. That was not that great. We should use that lane. It's empty. I don't know why we're not. Okay, so yeah, little mistake there. But yeah, it would be really cool for FSD to just be like that one layer up in polish so that it is, right now it's usable 98% of the time, and I have to drive the other 2%. It'd be really cool if it was like 99.9% of the driving FSD was doing. And something interesting that happened today, the power went out at our house, so we had no internet, no anything, obviously. And Jay was in the middle of work, was in the middle of a very important meeting on a Zoom call. And usually when the power goes out and the internet goes out, for whatever reason, our cell service gets really poor at that same time. So it's like our phones are almost unusable. We're on a different provider than what the car's cell service uses. So she was trying to get back into a Zoom meeting and just couldn't work on her phone. And I was like, well, try the car, because there is the Zoom app on here, right there. So she logged into Zoom and took like an hour-long Zoom call this afternoon from the car. And then her coworkers were just laughing, saying like how impressive it was. I mean, usually a person would just be like, yeah, I can't work, sorry. But yeah, it was cool that she was able to hop in the car and take a Zoom call. I don't know, besides that situation, like, who's Zooming from the car? Because you can't, if you could use it and drive, I wouldn't advocate for it because it's distracted driving, but like, I don't understand why otherwise you wouldn't just be at a desk. Like, does anybody here that watches the channel like actually use the Zoom app? Okay, this is interesting. I don't know if we'll give them, this car is trying to turn in. I assume we'll just go. Yeah. I don't know if we'd like see the van behind us, waited for them to turn. We could have done that. I wouldn't have been mad, but also I don't think we needed to. It's one of those things that works both ways. Okay, that's the whole drive for the most part. So 36,717. Not a lot of driving today, but a lot of kind of like meandering around with like turns and what, like there was enough dynamic driving and the car did a really good job, especially with that road closure. I mean, that's, like I said, one of the first times I've seen the car do that. Had it been able to get out of that profile and reverse on its own, it would have been better. So intervention there for sure. I guess that would be the one intervention, was me disengaging and re-enabling FSD. But otherwise, I had to scroll the wheel back for us speeding in the school zone. And then I had to press the pedal, which wasn't safety critical, but we were going exactly the speed limit in an area where everybody else speeds by like at least 10. So there was a block of 8 cars behind us and seemingly very annoyed. So overall, very minor, not a lot of driving, but a lot of like dynamic driving, I would say. So good job. And yeah, so probably a shorter video than normal. Hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you guys on the next one. GoPro, stop recording.